Okay, so for our last video, I basically want to show you where I'm getting this stuff, right? And it's not just YouTube, okay? YouTube, in my opinion, is actually not the most efficient resource. It is a good resource um, for getting clarification on certain features straight from somebody's mouth who actually knows what it does, right? But what I'm saying is the Hydra stuff that you call, I don't know what you would describe it as, but if you search for Hydra for Ladybug and Honeybee, oh, it's not getting me there. Hold on. Under the, actually, is it the example files? Hold on. Yeah, Hydra share. There it is. So under example files, this thing called Hydra, it's basically a housing for all of the files that you would need to run these certain components, right? So I mentioned that I'm giving you the car, and I'm showing you how to drive it. And after that, everything becomes pretty simple, right? I have background knowledge that I'll be providing for how we're generating these things. But for the most part, the rest of the explorations from here on out are not going to be building these definitions for the most part. There will be some things that we have to do to supplement them. But for instance, the sun path diagram is right here. Okay, so all you have to do is click on the sun path diagram definition, and there it is. Yeah, right? Super cool. So this is downloadable. You don't even have to create an account and log in. You just go there and you download it. So after you do that, you can navigate to it, open it up, find the Grasshopper file, and I'm just going to reopen it for you real quick. But this Grasshopper file is better than mine, at least. Why won't it open? Oh, because it's in a zip. Hold on. It will take a moment. Yes, sir.
What's the name of the website?
Hydra. I'll show you here in just a second, but let me finish this thought real fast. So this information comes preloaded with instructions. So it's all built for you. And in fact, if you spent just a couple hours with it, at this point, you'll know more about it than I will. So the way that we're going to be functioning in this class is to pull components as we need them to produce certain products. And we're going to explore them, and I'll be supplementing the information with the knowledge in Grasshopper. Okay, so what you'll see here is that these actually come preloaded with some contextual information that could be very valuable and important to us. So I built a geometry when in fact the actual definition comes with preloaded geometry for us. And that information, I know, it's cool. That information can be used to project your shadows for the shadow study one, so on and so forth. I know, Wes is freaking out back there.
Where's this been all of that? They should teach us in design too. Right. Yeah. Make our lives a lot easier without drawing that stupid bullshit circle. They're getting yelled at for 3 years.
All right. Hey.
We're still getting yelled at.
Guys, be careful. We are recording this. Okay.
I love you, Iggy. I love you, Iggy.
You can air concerns, but please leave foul language out of it. Anyway, so this is a working sunpath diagram that you can use for analysis. The downside is, and the reason I had to show you all that stuff with the EPW files, how you load them in, all that kind of contextual information, is because that's what everything is driven off of. Okay, it's very, very important that you went through the experience of at least building a couple of definitions from scratch. After that, once you get to this point, and then you get, into the other stuff, then we move into actual Grasshopper stuff. Okay, so this area right here is largely where we're going to live. Okay, there won't be too much time spent building this stuff because it's all pre-built for us. We're just going to use it. Okay, and I'll introduce how we're going to use it, what the context is, and all this other stuff as we progress. Okay, so let's go back into the web page here and look at all the cool stuff they have. If it loads. So it's actually a pretty expansive library. It's not exhaustive, but it's pretty expansive. So you'll see that you can do stuff like comfort charts, psychrometric charts. You can look at, this stuff is more advanced. We may or may not get to this, but you can actually do window shade generation and analysis. You can study cooling and lighting loads inside of a space. You can measure, well, this is just view angle diagrams, which I think is actually a very important part of your design studies, right? That's a very, very big one. You can look at sunlight bouncing off of surfaces, which is something that Raffaele Vignoli's office probably should have done before the London Tower when it melted cars. And actually the win in Las Vegas. So the energy shade benefit is going to give you analysis of how the shades are actually benefiting your space, right? So this stuff is like incredibly powerful, is it not? Or, well, yeah. I'm telling you, it's incredibly powerful. All right, you may not know it yet, but it is. So this is what we're going to be using. This is the format for the class. What questions do you have?
How did we get to that? Yeah. How did we get
Oh, yeah. That's right. I didn't get back to your question. So this is, like I said, grasshopper3d.com/group/ladybug. This has everything for you, right? You can get the download instructions. The Ladybug and Honeybee primer is really useful, so let me open that for you. And then Hydra is accessed by going to example files for Ladybug. That brings you to Hydra. Hail Hydra, right? So the primer. Let's look at the primer real quick. If you go to the primer and then you go to read, see, that's why I'm not going to pronounce that guy's name, because it's crazy. I can't pronounce that. Oh, PDF. Actually. So the primer, if you guys are curious, it's pretty. I mean, it's really detailed. Basically, it'll go through each and every component, and it'll give you a description of what the component does. The downside is it's not much more descriptive than if you just drop the component into your Grasshopper workspace and just read the description of each part. So you're going to need the primer and you're going to need Hydra all at the same time to be able to really understand how it works. Any other questions?
Where's this been all our lives?
Right here.
For real. Oh,
Actually, no, it's only been here for like a year or two. Actually, it might have been here a little bit longer, maybe 3 or 4 years. Any other questions? Okay. So for class on Thursday, what we're going to be doing is the actual export process. So we have a couple of graphs, we have a sun angle diagram. We're actually going to do a basic analysis of some of the parts of our site. So for those of you who are working on design, I believe you already have a site. Yeah. And we're actually going to be doing some analysis for that site.